Ladies and gentlemen, greetings and salutations. Many people are asking what will happen. Will there be a regime change in Iran or not? Where is the war heading? Especially since recently President Trump has been talking about perhaps ending the war, saying we've done it faster than we expected or hoped. Without a doubt, this war has had many achievements from a military standpoint. They succeeded in suppressing or eliminating the missiles of Iran, including their production. Also, the issue of nuclear weapons and the Navy. Yes, Trump definitely spoke about the fact that they sank the Navy and that their Air Force is completely or almost completely wiped out. They have no air defense, and the factories and everything, all good, all beautiful. And that's the problem. Regime change does not happen because you sank their Navy, or because you eliminated their missile system, or their nuclear program. Regime change occurs only when the arm upon which the regime leans is eliminated. What is this arm? This arm is the Basij, the morality police and suppression forces, on the streets, or the members of the Revolutionary Guard, the IRGC, on the streets. And they have neither missiles, nor drones, or atomic weapons. They have a Kalashnikov in their hand, or at most, a machine gun, or something like that. This is what the government leans on. As long as the Basij are there and the IRGC members are there, and they are threatening the population that they will do to them what they already did on the 7th and 8th and 9th of January, with tens of thousands of dead in the streets, as long as this exists, the government remains. True, you can eliminate Mujtaba, and you can kill this Khamenei or that Khamenei, and you can kill the generals and the commanders and everything. But the government does not collapse because you took down some officers and politicians. The government does not collapse because you killed a few Ayatollahs. The government collapses only when it has no way to defend itself against the people in the street. Then, either they start fighting each other within the government, and that isn't happening yet. They aren't fighting each other yet. And the population is still in their homes, just as President Trump told them. He said, stay home until we tell you. And he hasn't yet told them to run into the streets and eliminate the Basij and the IRGC members. Ladies and gentlemen, these Basij, these aren't people coming from Mars or from the moon. These are people who live on the street opposite the people they are killing. They know them. They know who they are. They are familiar with them. They are neighbors. Therefore, the population knows exactly who they are. And when the time comes, they will know where to aim their swords and who to put in their guillotines to sever the connection between their head and their shoulders. And this is the direction we are headed. And the Basij know exactly what will happen to them if the government collapses. They will be decapitated. Literally, physically. Therefore, they will fight for their lives. Thus, the struggle in the street between the Basij, the IRGC, and others against the population will be a struggle of life and death. The hands that hold the Kalashnikov are the hands that will survive. They are the hands that will rule for days and years. True, it will take them a long time until they have nuclear weapons, and it will take a long time until they have missiles, a navy, and an air force. Yes, that is true. But they will do all of this as long as the government remains in the hands of the Ayatollahs. And so, all the other dangers will continue to exist. How do I know this? They didn't tell me, but we see it from around Iran. The Arabs, the Saudis, the Emiratis, the Bahrainis, the Omanis, the Qataris, the whole region still hasn't joined. They still have not joined the war. 2 weeks have passed. Have they not heard about the war? Do they not suffer from the war? The Emiratis suffer from the Iranians far more than we do in Israel. But they haven't joined the war yet. Why? Because they're still not sure whether the government will fall. Because they know that the government is not just the Navy, not just the Air Force. It's primarily the Kalashnikov in the street. As long as Trump doesn't take the Kalashnikov out of their hands, as long as they hold the Kalashnikov in their hands, the government will remain. And what I want to tell you is that if the government remains, then a week after the war, they'll organize some big international conference to garner and show support, and all the Arabs will crawl back to that conference, because woe to them if they don't come. And everyone will condemn the war in hindsight. Everyone? Why? Because they will have no choice. Because now the Iranian bear is wounded and dangerous, and woe to anyone who does not get in line and stand together with the government. That is what will happen if the government in Iran remains in the hands of the Ayatollahs. Now, how do you carry out this great revolt? I don't know. It should have been done a long time ago. Arming the Baluchis, arming the Kurds, arming the Azawis, and maybe they knew it too. But here's the problem. The moment you turn it into an ethnic war, then the Persians, those who love the government and those who don't, close ranks around the government. Because the Persians generally want to keep the country whole, even those that support the Shah and not the Ayatollahs. Not only that the Kalashnikov remains in the hands of the government, there is no alternative. The people don't see an alternative. What will happen? Reza Pahlavi will come and millions will run behind him to the door of the country? He has no administration. He is no alternative. He has no government in exile. He didn't prepare the infrastructure for years to return to the country and govern. Meaning, today, when everyone talks with respect and says, "Long live the Shah," including the flags they're waving with the symbol of the Pahlavi family, the lion and the sun, which is a prominent anti-Islamic symbol. Fine, there's a flag. Maybe there's a man, but there's nothing behind him. There's no administration behind him. There's no government behind him. No one behind him knows how to say, "I support him" when he arrives. Why? Because whoever says that won't stay alive very long. As long as the government remains, the war must continue. Where is the problem? I don't see the determination, not in the United States and not in Israel, to continue fighting for who knows how long until the government is replaced. Already people want to finish the war. You hear it from parents who want their children to go back to school. You hear it from people who want to start working again. You hear it from all sorts of systems. Perhaps Israel is not built for long wars. The Iranians, survived 8 years against the Iraqis between 1980 and 1988. For 8 years, they fought to preserve their revolution. So again, I'm not trying to discourage anyone, but one must be goal-oriented. And the goal is not just the nuclear program and the missiles. The goal must be the government. So whoever among us has any pull, has any speak with the Americans, needs to tell them about this issue and not about anything else. Because if the government remains, it will take them 5, 10, 15 years, and they will rebuild everything. How? With Arab money. Because whoever doesn't give them money, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and all the others, whoever doesn't give, woe to them from the Iranians, and they know this. And they are afraid of it, and that's why they are not joining the war. We must open our eyes to see the reality. As long as the government is there with the AK-47s in their hands, a true change will not come to Iran, and it will not come to the Middle East. We must be clear on this point and focus on it. And this is where you can make a difference. Each and every one of you can write your congressmen, your senators, join local demonstrations, and more importantly, keep on praying. The Iranian regime needs to fall. Am Yisrael Chai.